we were discussing on whether or not to discuss what we're going to discuss. A lot of discusses in one sentence, but we were discussing. Oh my God, I just did it again. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Four Dummies. And tonight we are with the Four Dummies. I got Robert Detoff.
I'm a featured guest.
I got Genius Quan.
Yeah. What's happening?
And I got Mrs. Skullface.
Hello.
Tonight we're going to talk about the last three releases from Fanstoys, which have been Hoodlum, Hydra, and Cyclonus.
Oh, I think I really liked Hydra.
You did, which is interesting. The reason why we're going to talk about this is because the reactions have been so mixed. And I'm asking you guys a couple questions. One, what do you think about them? And then two, what do you think it is doing to their reputation? Because I feel like their reputation has changed in the last 4 months.
Yeah, man. Their releases haven't been great. So just to go back into what I talked, Cup was good. RC not so great. Cyclonus was great. I never messed with the 6-shot. I literally got the Hoodlum yesterday. Took it out of the box. I was like, I don't even know if... I think this thing's broken. I don't even know how it's supposed to go together. It was like super floppy.
That's how mine was out of the box too. It took me... I even say in my review, it took me a minute to put it back together.
So it's bad. It may be their worst release ever.
The Hoodlum? Oh, I disagree.
Yeah.
I strongly disagree.
What's the worst release?
I'm not a huge fan of it.
Fanstoys' worst release? Lupus.
Lupus?
Oh, you're crazy, dude.
They really named one Lupus?
I would argue they're Perceptor just because the worst plastic.
Yeah, I
but
think Perceptor
the Lupus
is
is way better than
Lupus is not
Hoodlum.
functional. It's not functional as an action figure. It's not. Like, there's zero...
It looks way better about it.
It looks way better if you have it like it just came off a production line. Like, arms straight down, legs straight down. But you can't do much else with it.
In all fairness, though, with these Transformers that turn into beasts, you can have them in their alt modes, and he looks great as a wolf, you know?
Yeah, see, I liked Lupus. I wish it would have had better ankle articulation, but ultimately, I don't.
Hoodlum doesn't really have much of a rocker, right?
It has more than Lupus.
Much more?
Much
kind
more.
of is in the
much
same
more.
ballpark?
Much more. So let me ask, just you passed on 6-shot?
Yeah, I wasn't in what I was trying to collect, so I didn't get it.
So you're like Headmasters in 6-shot, not in. Got it.
Don't try and understand me.
Robert, do you have all three?
I've purchased 2 out of the 3. One of them is on my desk in front of me, Quietus, and I love this toy so much. I still have it on my desk.
Yeah,
Like,
Quietus is phenomenal as an action figure, 100%.
Yeah, it's beautiful too. The paint is beautiful. And it's nice and heavy.
If Takara released Masterpiece Cyclonus, it wouldn't be this clean.
Let me tell you something.
If
Takara released a Masterpiece Cyclonus that was this clean and this pretty, the Takara fan base would lose their minds.
They couldn't. They wouldn't.
The way that I've seen them defend this Bumblebee, they would buy a whole bunch of these Cyclonuses just to build them in the form of a cross so they could nail themselves to it.
Dude, they would do that regardless. If Takara could not pull this off, they could not. I think Fanstoys is officially surpassing Takara, because look at what Takara's putting out now versus what Fanstoys is. Just for an ab crunch?
I agree with that.
Oh, I don't even think it's debatable anymore.
Just for an ab crunch and a butterfly joint? Really? They'd make this Quietus look like he had a porcupine on his back. It would be terrible.
Did you get the Hydra?
I purchased it,
but you haven't got it yet. That's a hard one to have a conversation about because that's a very controversial figure.
I love it.
So that's what I want to talk about. So you don't have any bias towards any company, whether it be Takara or third party, correct?
Correct.
What is your impression holding Hydra?
I liked him right out of the box
Yeah.
when you open him. I think I also love the colors.
Yeah.
But the metallic paint is beautiful. Like the richness of the colors.
That's the thing is that I'm looking at Lupus and I think Lupus is their weakest release, but he looks better than...
I was just going to say, I don't think Lupus looks bad and he also feels heavy.
Correct.
Why is the action figure element of these Transformers so important to you?
Because I have to be able to pose them. If I can't pose them, I'd prefer you to make them a statue.
Does every figure need to have a dynamic pose?
No, it doesn't need to be a dynamic pose, but it can't all stand like it just came off an assembly line, like the battle droids and Attack of the Clones.
Right. I understand that, but you put Lupus in with all the other bots that can move around, and he just stands there looking tough.
and that's fine.
Like a bouncer.
And that's fine, but that's using other figures to make him look good.
Right. No, I got you.
You know, like I don't.
But I mean, his paint looks good.
Absolutely.
He looks good.
100%. You just can't do much else with him. And look at his feet. His legs aren't even that far apart. And look where his ankles have to be. If a doctor were to see this, they would give him special shoes.
Braces for his legs.
But I mean, he still stands fine.
Correct.
Isn't that what the ankle rocker comes down to?
No, not at all. The ankle rocker comes down to making it look believable how the foot fits on the ground.
How are you giving Lupus so much grief over that, but not their Jetfire that has even less of an ankle rocker?
First of all, I wouldn't say it has less of an ankle rocker. I would say they're comparable. I'm up for having a discussion as to the problems with Jetfire. I don't think that's one of their strongest releases either.
Quietus's articulation, it's good, and it's good enough for me. If you would say, hey, Fanstoys, we want an ab crunch and butterfly joints, but the cost of doing that would be to lose the cleanliness, I would say don't need it. I love the aesthetic. I love where they're going. If I want to transform it, I would. The engineering doesn't offend me. When there's tolerance issues and breakage can occur or scratches, that bothers me because it shouldn't happen. But just being difficult doesn't bother me.
In terms of your fingers on the pulse of the community, do you think that with Hydra and with Hoodlum specifically, do you think that Fanstoys may have lost a step?
I don't. I think people have been waiting in the wings for a reason to go after this company.
Well, because I don't think it's as impressive as the other two.
What, you don't
I'll
think
tell you
Hoodlum
that their Hoodlum is a blemish on their record, for sure.
See, and it's funny because I think Hoodlum's a great figure. Looking at it right now, I feel like that is a better looking figure than Hydra.
If that was a Takara figure right now turning a quarter turn, it would look like garbage.
It's the same double standard. I feel like if this was a Takara figure, people would be losing their mind at how great it is.
Yeah.
Why is he so little?
Because he's little.
Hot Rod's little?
Yeah, he's a car.
Before he gets big?
Correct.
He gets bigger.
Correct. He's a grower, not a shower.
His little status.
He'll get you there, though. He'll get you there.
He has to open the matrix of Viagra.
Obviously, if he was larger, he would be more impressive amongst these larger bots. But
and I think he has like a little bit of the like great looking paint on his boots, and I like
his thighs.
And I like the translucent plastic of his lights. But I don't love the orange paint. It's fine. But there's nothing special to me about it.
But it's not metallic.
Yeah.
It's not plastic, though.
So I think
that's a great thing.
Correct. And I think the metallic paint that Fanstoys uses goes a long way in terms of how they present. That's like the saving grace. When you look at Cyclonus, your eyes just zero in on that metallic purple. When you look at Hydra, your eyes zero in on that metallic turquoise.
For sure.
Let me just say this. I think what people are really hanging their hat on with the hate is like the engineering is overly complicated. It's too difficult to transform. When wasn't it? Except for the Dinobots. And
Shockwave
Shockwave
Yeah,
wasn't.
I was going to say Shockwave, but that's not a complicated figure.
That was their first release, though. Like, right? So
Yeah, but I mean, neither was Perceptor, dude.
People were breaking the Dinobots, trying to transform them. A few people broke their Perceptors.
I don't know. That Perceptor, like tucking the head in around that was a pain in the man.
Don't ever talk to me about tucking the head in again.
Another podcast.
They've been pretty consistent, I believe, in the kind of product they release. Sometimes it's a little less, sometimes it's a little more, but they're around the bar that they've set. And I just feel like as they keep releasing great figure after great figure, the vocal minority they sense that there's momentum. They can sink their teeth.
So that's a good point. That's a good point.
To just complain about them, and then other people are like, yeah.
It is the vocal minority, isn't it? When I do anything related to Fanstoys, right? Like if I review a Fanstoys figure, or we have a Fanstoys discussion, or if it teases the court on Fanstoys, my viewership is larger than it is normally. And I don't get extra hate on it, per se. I get more vocal comments, obviously, on anything I do on a popular company. But, like, I think you're right. Like, it is a vocal minority that's speaking up to kind of tarnish them. And I think it does come from hate.
Yeah, I mean, look,
that's true.
How many actual real Fanstoys collectors that are getting them all, how many posts have you seen from them saying, you know what, I'm done with Fanstoys, never collecting them again, I'm so disappointed in them?
Zero.
None.
Yeah, not one.
It's the same people it's the people on the other side of they like Chug or KOs, and they've been throwing rocks this whole time.
You might be right.
And they're just getting louder and louder.
You might be right about that.
And I can see that too. If you have a lot of those people that are Takara purists, they are going to yell the most about Fanstoys because they're the ones that are
they're the biggest competition.
They're the
Well, that's another thing, right? the Takara MP purists also pretty much looking for any reason to try to knock Fanstoys down a peg.
Yeah, I think you're right. Even like the Hydra, like people were complaining about the knees, but like the knees are not strong. I'll be the first to admit it.
No, but they hold.
But they hold, and they'll hold the pose.
Yeah,
If someone wanted to complain, well, I can't hold their leg straight out with their foot straight out. It's like, well, why is he in a dance lineup anyway?
Yeah.
You know,
For
like
the
if
same reason he's doing an ab crunch.
no, come on, stop that.
He's working out.
I want to see a tattoo with a guy with the tattoo of a Ferrari.
I want to see the tattoo, no regrets.
Dude, no regrets is the best. Meatloaf. I want to see the worst toes you've ever seen.
Oh man,
Mrs. Skullface in the vape shop making a complete of herself.
that's a lot to ask for,
Oh
really.
my god.